So that time of year is coming around once again, the Steam Summer Sale. And when I was looking through, I happened to come across a game by Square Enix, a little game called The Adventures of Elliot. And when I was looking through the videos and displays and all that stuff for it, it looked pretty good. So I gave it a try since it seemed to have a demo. And if there was ever a game trying to get me to buy it, this is one. This game is what I imagine Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening plays like. Not that I've ever played it, but this game has cool pixel art style for the character models with nice 3D environment that somehow work well together, and it has this nice looking art style for the character portraits that reminds me of a game called Terra Battle. But some of y'all don't know what that is. Anyways, this has everything I can think of when I think of Legend of Zelda. It has a do-good hero, in this case it's Elliot. We have a princess with some power of protection, a very clearly evil guy who is evil, and what I found out right after the demo, a fairy companion that talks your ear off. All the best things of Legend of Zelda, right? So off I went into the demo under the full impression that it's going to let me play around with the combat a bit, maybe see some of the story, have me do a dungeon for a bit, maybe just one, and then kick me out, like a normal demo. But then I finished the first boss, and I thought, okay, cool, that was pretty fun. But it never kicked me out. So I kept going and going and going, and eventually it started talking about some time travel plot. And I'm like, okay, cool. It will kick me out surely after this time travel plot plays out. So I get to the door and walk in thinking, okay, here it comes. Only it didn't stop me. In fact, it let me keep going into the past. I got to experience stuff in there, play around, do a few dungeons there. Hell, at some point during my playthrough of the demo, I start to think to myself, when is this demo going to let me go? When is it going to kick me out? But dungeon after dungeon, I was still going. Dungeon after dungeon, I was still playing. Until eventually I just decided, you know what? I'm going to stop doing side content and just focus purely on the main story so I can get to the end of this demo. Because after the first boss, it had already sold me. So I'm thinking, okay, let me just get to the end of this so I can leave and purchase the game. But it didn't. I clocked in about 3 hours in the demo before I finally came to the end of it, where we face the clearly evil guy after he steals some power and we have to fight him in a boss fight, only we're not supposed to win the boss fight, we're just supposed to fight him until, well, he kills us. And then, and only then, does the demo come to an end. But before we come to the end of this video, I'd like to talk about a few of the cool mechanics that I encountered while playing this game. Like, each of your weapons, or at least the sword and the spear, because that's all that's available in the demo, and the boomerang, each of your weapons has a charge attack. And with the sword, once you do the full charge, you shoot out a little shockwave. That's pretty cool. But if you charge the attack, get close to the enemy, release the charge, and also keep hitting the attack button, you will hit the enemy with the sword, the charge attack shockwave, and a second shockwave due to this little stutter freeze frame that happens when you hit someone with the charge attack. I even found that this works with the spear too. It's just a little different because the spear doesn't do the same thing. And I assume it would work the same with other weapons later on, but as of the demo, I only have the sword and the spear. Another mechanic I saw is this little, like, jewel box that you get that functions with this, like, jewel gotcha system in the game that doesn't cost real money, thankfully, because, that would suck. But you put your currency into it, It spits out a bunch of random jewels, and each of the jewels has different effects. And every time you spend a certain amount of jewels, you upgrade the RNG to make it better to find even rarer jewels that do different things. I think one of the jewels I found was for my spear that made it to where when I fully charged and released the charge attack, I let out a wave of fire that lingered on the ground for a bit. That's really cool. And another thing is the drop rate system. How this works is if you go without getting hit for a certain amount of time and kill enemies, you build up this meter that increases your drop rate. I managed to get it up to 3 stars before I inevitably lost it to 3 ratmen because, well, I wasn't ready for how they fight. But I'm really interested to see how far that can go. Using it, I managed to upgrade the jewel box capacity up to level 3 just off of using this drop rate system. And I think something like that's really cool. In fact, at some point during my playthrough of the game, when I get it, I'm going to actually try to see how far I can take that and see what benefits come with that outside of increased drop rates. But nevertheless, this was a very fun demo. I'll be very much getting this game for myself. And when I finish the game, if you would like to see a video about this, please let me know by liking and commenting on this video. Because if the quality of this demo is anything to go by, this is 100% going to be something I'd want to buy in the future. Like, this was truly amazing, and you should try it too yourself. But till that time comes, take care, and I will see you next time.